Hey everyone, it's Margaret, and we are back with a special episode of Season 1's Van Tour reactions and reviews. The goal of today's episode is to do a quick recap of everything that we saw in Season 1 and look at some of the best design ideas from each van. So if you are going down the same path of some of these layouts, you can grab some of the best ideas that those people had. I want these videos to be a resource for the community, kind of like a second opinion on the van tours that we've all collectively watched. And I can't stress this enough. This is not about the van lifer. This is about a product that will belong to multiple owners over the years and that will also be replicated, because a lot of times when people are watching van tours, they're looking for ideas for their own build and to seek out inspiration from others. Now let's get into it. My first episode of this series was looking at Sydney's van from Divine on the Road. She had a 2017 Ford Transit, which I believe is the 148 wheelbase and the high roof. Having that height makes such a difference. That's why we opted for the L3 as well. As someone who is not a particular fan of having a partition is when you cut off the cab, I actually really like how she did this because it is a full door and the door doesn't go in either direction, it slides across. So it saves her from having to open or push into a space.
I have this little pocket door that just slides and then a little pin that I can just slide in.
So she can keep that open, she can close it, whatever works, and it makes going to and from the cab much easier than having to climb over something or having to get out of the van to walk around to the front. Another thing I really liked about this particular van is that she has a slide out table that comes out of the back.
It's a slide out table. And this is as big as the bed, so this is 72 inches as well, which it's just nice to like sit down and kind of work outside.
Now, it's not a comfortable thing to be sitting on the back bumper and like twisting your whole upper body to use, but if you have a few camping stools or a chair of some kind, having that extra space to then set up and be able to take in the view is really nice. In episode 2, we covered Liz from Wild on the Mile. She had a 144 Sprinter van, and it definitely got a lot of attention because of the interior style. She had this amazing marble countertop and also this really nice custom table. But what I don't think got enough attention is her placement of her wet room. So she actually had this in the back of the van, which is much less common. Of course, the exchange was having her seating space and her bed towards the front.
The wet room slash bathroom. This is my clothes closet, and this is my sports closet. Now the toilet is a self-contained toilet, so I do have to dump it once a week at an RV dump station. This entire closet is lined with plastic acrylic and caulking, so it is a wet room. You can shower in this if you want.
In episode 3, we looked at Eamon and Beck's Sprinter van. Yes, I know this is their old van. Yes, I know they made a new van. Fam, we're just going over design. Like I said, I don't really care whose van it is or if it's old or new. It's all about the layout. For a convertible bed, this is actually pretty good. When it comes to convertible, having something that slides is so much easier because you don't have to deal with the cushions. It's those cushions that are a huge headache. Taking everything off, pushing it down, removing it, and sheets on top of that, what a nightmare.
Our bed lies on a slat system, so from couch mode, we pull the slats across and the mattress just kind of swings along with it. To utilize the wheel well of the van, we actually store all of our bedding right in here.
But for this, they could just slide that down. They also had a really incredible water supply. I believe they had 40 gallons and they had an automatic gray release and filtered water.
So we have a carbon and sediment filter on the little tap and a little soap dispenser. That's a nice little touch, especially if you want to keep your kitchen clean. You don't have to keep moving a soap bottle. We added a 40-gallon water tank that's stored under the bed. I'll show you guys in a minute. And then we actually have a 9-gallon gray tank that's mounted underneath the van. And the coolest part about that is when we flick this little switch here, it just automatically drains. So if we're in a drain-friendly area, we can just flick that, ditch the gray water, and we don't have to muck around changing pipes and cleaning it up.
Those are like little luxe when you're living in a van. It kind of separates off like how advanced your systems are from a more simple build to a more complex build. If you're able to have hot water, automatic release, a huge water supply, like that's what makes these vans feel so much more sustainable. Skipping to episode 5. This is our van, our old van. Oh, love it so much. Two of the things I like the most about our van layout was, one, we had those actuators with the bed lift, which I can't stress how much we love those and how useful they were all the time.
Margaret, press the magic switch. Convenient. Fun fact, this is the space that is only accessible when the bed is up, and you'll never know where the magic button is.
But I also really liked that we had somewhat of a square layout. When you have these different types of layouts in vans in small spaces, there's either like a square layout or a hallway layout. And what I don't really love about like that hallway aspect is when you're two people in a van, you're kind of bumping into each other a lot. And if you're taking off your sweatshirt or you're getting changed, you're always like in that other person's kind of zone. You get used to it, but I really loved that we could easily maneuver around each other when we had this big space in the middle for cooking, for working, and we weren't having to pass each other or slide by each other at all.
All this was custom built based around my dimensions and my needs. So this desk folds down, it locks in a hole so I can accidentally kick it and break something. My phone lives here on a magnet. I have a short cable that plugs in and nothing extra is on this desk.
Episode 6. This is Claire's amazing Was it a Ducato? Yeah, it was totally a Fiat. And I love this build so much because of the unique factor and the thoughtfulness. Like everything that she did was so intentional, which I really, really respect. My favorite aspect of this was her bathroom. I'm a huge fan of convertible spaces. Convertible bathrooms are amazing.
A couple of hinges, and this is actually my bathroom. So this will hold up here. I can put a shower curtain on here. And inside I have it's a composting toilet. It has no chemicals whatsoever. And I also have a shower that I can just kind of hang up here. It's got a trigger on it, so I'm not using too much water.
Her convertible bathroom is different than a lot of the others that I've seen recently because she could actually full fit inside of that space with her legs out to be able to sit on the toilet and not have her legs go like into the hallway or any of that. She was able to stay within that convertible wet room. Ooh, and we can't forget the skylight. That skylight where she could like completely lie down, take in the scenery, take in the stars. Like that makes you feel so much more involved in nature, which I think is a huge reason that so many of us love van life.
Buy a van, get a van, do it. Plan it though, plan it. Spend some time, draw it, work out what you want in it. Because I think it's a bit difficult to keep buying and selling vans because you've made a mistake. Do it. Life's too short to somewhere along the track saying, I wish I'd have done. Have a go at it.
I love you.
Episode 7, maybe one of the most beautiful build outs I've seen in such a long time. This was done in Germany and it had such a different warm feel to it. That wood, all those countertops were gorgeous. But what sticks out in my mind the most is that swivel table.
Here we have our swivel seats and the swivel table. We decided for that version because it's the two of us and it gives us way more space in here.
Now, if you've been following Ladi and my build, you'll know that we're still working on all the details of how we want to deal with that secondary table that goes through the passenger. Because my question is, when that swivel table is there, but your chair is facing forward, where does that swivel table go? Does it always sit behind that passenger seat, or does it block you from being able to go into the side door? I'm not sure if it's removable. If it's removable, that would be amazing. It really sticks out in my mind of one of my favorite features of this van because it was so unique and it just looks so nice, sliding back and forth, easy to maneuver around, and super helpful to use, especially for people who are trying to do double office work online.
Have breakfast, dinner, whatever. We try to keep everything in wood. We are kind of wood lovers. So yeah, that's the living area, kind of.
In episode 8, we took a look at exploring alternatives van built out. And one of my favorite things about this build was that it's low cost and low tech. So there's a lot of thought that goes into this, and it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. You know, they had a limited water supply. Instead of having a full bathroom, they did this separator door. But what sticks out in my mind are their low-cost conversion for a swivel table in the back, and also the very back of the bed lifted up with this rope that was so clever, so easy to use, low tech if you're not like super comfortable with like actuators. But I really like that they could make those adjustments and that they are not forced to be making their bed every day, at least not the whole bed.
We knew we'd be using the van as kind of a home and office on wheels. And so we knew that this area needed to be a lot of different things. So it can be a bed, but we also wanted to be able to kind of lounge in bed and watch a movie. So we made this adjustable backrest. If we want it to be a couch, we can also take out this centerpiece, and then we have a couch here. And then what that also does is it creates 2 seats. So we also have a dinette where we can sit across from each other.
Episode 9, this is looking at Max and Lee's old van. And what sticks out to me about this Sprinter in particular is that they stored those surfboards inside. That is so vital, especially if you are traveling with bikes, boards, anything that is like a hobby of yours or some sort of a sport. Whatever you store outside of your van can become really vulnerable, especially to theft. People notice right away that you're a camper, or at least notice that right away that you're on some sort of a trip. And that screams valuables.
These 2 boards are my boards from Australia. I brought them over with me and pretty much designed the van around them. Therefore, I measured up this space to perfectly fit them. They're just held in place by a couple of Oki straps. The second board at the back is a little bit too tall, so I had to notch out a bit of the cladding. But all in all, it works perfectly, it holds them in place.
I think there's this theory that the entire world can recognize a camper van now, but I disagree, because if you're a little bit stealthier without the bikes and the surfboards and the racks and everything else, people don't pay as much attention. At least not outside of the US and Canada, and maybe the UK and Germany. For episode 10, we did our toilet talk, so make sure to click the link if you're trying to decide what you want to do for your bathroom. For episode 11, we looked at Uphill Adventures, beautiful van build, but what sticks out in my mind about this build was how nice their bathroom was. They did such a good job having this compact wet room with the toilet and a full shower. Absolutely beautiful.
Here we have our bathroom with our Nautilus self-cleaning retractable door. It seems to be what everybody has, and we like it. It works well so far. Inside of our bathroom, we have the Nature's Head composting toilet, and we have a shower in there, which we're excited about. We haven't used it yet, so we'll let you know how that goes.
Plus, they had plenty of space for their dog bed.
We also have this little space under the bed here, which is going to be for our puppy.
Episode 12, this was looking at Hannah's van build out, and oh my gosh, she's gone like mega viral now. Her channel is doing so well. Make sure to be subscribing to all of the people that I'm mentioning. I'll make sure to be linking all of these van lifers in the description, so if you see a van that you like, you can go through and learn more about how they did the build. So for Hannah's van, she kind of took what would be a typical layout for a standing van and shrunk it right down. When you have a van that you can't stand up in, having a fixed bed is so nice, because making your bed every morning with the cushions, with the sheets, with the duvets, with the pillows, when you can't even stand up straight, can be so obnoxious.
There is the bed, which is like the star of the of the show because I've got all my plants over there. It's so cute and cozy. I'm really happy with it. It's like a memory foam mattress. It's a full size, so I can fit 2 people on there. And everyone asks, can you lay down across? And I was like, yeah, I'm exactly 5'9", and the whole space across is 5'9". So yeah, you have to be 5'9" to sleep in here.
In episode 13, we looked at Snow and Kurt's incredible build out in their 170 Sprinter Extended. I think what made this van so revolutionary and so exciting for the internet is that we'd never really seen a bathroom layout like that. Like, it's so clever to twist it and make that a walk-through.
This hall area can do some pretty magical things. You may notice this crazy shower head. And that's because I am also standing inside of our shower. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how we turn this into a shower.
I really love that challenged how we look at bathrooms and how we look at convertible spaces. So that is easily my favorite aspect of their van. Such a good idea. And then, of course, episode 14, we looked at another smaller conversion, and that was Dual X's viral conversion. And what I really liked about this simple build out really is that one of the doors for the closet actually swung down and turned into a table. I hadn't seen any kind of cabinetry like that before, and I think it's such a good use in a smaller space.
All right, so next thing is this cabinet right here. It's not only a cabinet, but it's also a desk and a closet. Magnets up here. So when the magnets connect, it never opens, but just in case I put this latch on here too, just to make sure it never moves. But when this thing is down, it just leans on the counter from the kitchen, and it's pretty much the perfect height. This part right here is it's a desk when you're sitting on the ottoman.
I hope you got some good ideas from today's episode and were able to see some of the best aspects of each of these build outs and to implement that into your own creation, or at least be able to tune that eye for design so you can see how different decisions can really be helpful when you're living on the road full time. I am so excited to be getting started on season 2, especially intermittently as we're moving forward with our own van build, which you should definitely keep your eye on. We've even done a video that goes through our own layout in 3D and the reasoning behind a lot of our decisions. So make sure to check out that video and support all of these incredible van lifers that have done such epic jobs on their conversion. But above all else, I hope you learned something, enjoyed, and can't wait to see you in the episodes to come. Have a good week.